being called a potential agro-terrorism weapon. A Chinese researcher and her boyfriend are accused of smuggling a dangerous toxic biological pathogen into the United States, and they have ties to the Communist Party of China. The pair have been charged with multiple counts, including conspiracy to defraud the U.S., smuggling goods, and also making false statements to investigators. Now, authorities say the pathogen can cause devastating diseases in crops.
The Chinese nationals researched the pathogen as university students in China and were bringing it to the U.S. to research at the University of Michigan. The fungus was discovered in 4 plastic baggies tucked off into a wad of tissues. The couple discussed smuggling seeds in it in their shoes, according to chat messages from WeChat in 2022. The pathogen can cause head blight in wheat, barley, maize, and rice, which poses serious health issues in humans and livestock. Officials say it's responsible annually for billions of dollars in economic losses across the world.
Authorities are alleging the researchers expressed loyalty to the Chinese Communist Party and received funding from them. FBI Director Kash Patel confirmed the incident on X, saying this case is a sobering reminder that the CCP is working around the clock to deploy operatives and researchers to infiltrate American institutions and target our food supply, which would have grave consequences, putting American lives and our economy at serious risk. So this is interesting. The woman was already here, and her boyfriend was flying into the U.S. to visit her, and he was the one carrying this fungus pathogen. Now, it's important to note that it is already endemic to the United States, so it's already here, this fungus. So this would not pose any additional danger unless it has been manipulated in some way to make it stronger, more transmissible, more deadly. Exactly the kind of research that so many of us fear was in fact performed in Chinese labs in Wuhan to bring about COVID-19, the research that was greenlit by the U.S. that was conducted in China. We know that U.S. funding agencies sought to perform that research, sought federal money to do it. We don't know whether those projects actually moved ahead. We suspect that they do. So whether there was something similar going on here is going to be the question. The material, this pathogen, is going to be tested to find out if it's on a molecular level different from what is already here. And then I'm very interested, of course, by these messages that say that makes it
years in the making.
It's not some kind of like harmless mistake where, ooh, I didn't know I had accidentally put the samples in that backpack and I didn't mean to do this. If they're talking about bringing this in, that's pretty scary.
It is. I'm definitely hesitant to jump into full spy movie. I think we should just pause for a second. But we should definitely have up sensible guardrails, because this is a real national security threat, and we should be looking into this seriously, and they should get in trouble for any egregious behavior. I mean, like you said, this can cause, when I saw it could cause damage to crop and humans, that scared me very much. The communist connections to the Communist Party in China raise valid questions, but like I said, I don't want to jump into any xenophobia and assume that everybody's doing who's coming here to do research who may be attached to China anyway is trying to harm the U.S. secretly. Like, I think we have to definitely do our due diligence and see what was going on. Those text messages from a few years ago make this more problematic.
Pretty damning.
Yeah, exactly. But I also think I want to see it through without completely just, you know, sometimes you get on X and it's just like, oh my gosh, terrorists, throw them out. The answer can't be throw them out immediately. Let's find out what happened. Let's really research what they were trying to do, and let's get to the bottom of this. And then if people were trying to harm our country, of course, they can leave.
Yeah, this is certainly going to be brought up in the context of the Trump administration's orders to more carefully vet Chinese foreign nationals coming in to study here, decertifying or preventing Harvard University from enrolling international students. These steps the Trump administration is taking, this will probably make people more sympathetic to those efforts that specifically target the Chinese students. Now, I think it is a bit tricky because people have said, well, they all have to swear loyalty to the Chinese Communist Party. The CCP picks who gets to come here. I'm like, well, okay, but if you live in a totalitarian country, you're going to say, yes, I swear loyalty to the totalitarian country, with your fingers crossed behind your back, right, to try to get here. I think, I have a hard time believing they're all like completely brainwashed, loyal servants like it's 1984 or something. However, if there is a significant number of them that really want to hamper our national security, they want to come here, use our prestigious scientific research universities to gain dangerous knowledge, transmit it back to China, or go back to China with it. Yeah, that's really, really bad, really concerning.
I mean, the U.S. prides itself on being a hub for, just like you said, huge research, international research, and so there's a space for that there, but there's not a space to try to take matters into your own hands. And so, like I said, yes, it involves Chinese nationals, but we have to avoid, like you said, any racist framing, because they could just be doing what they need to do in a country that they're coming from in order to get an education that we covet around the world from prestigious universities across the U.S. and really
it's not racist. It doesn't have to do with them as as Chinese as a race.
Well, that's what a lot of the conversation is.
Nation.
The fact, exactly, that they're coming from China. So, and then there's conversation around what happened with COVID, and it's like, oh, here we go again. It's like, okay, it's not a problem of being Chinese. It's a problem of their nation was not handling it properly.
Right, it's a problem of the government of China.
Right, and so sometimes that language, just when it's loosely interpreted, leads into, let's get.
Well, I know, but I feel like that was the other. If you go back again to COVID, it was funny to me that the media would be saying that it came out of a lab, that was a racist conspiracy theory, when their major competing theory, and the one that the media and Democrats and liberals for some reason preferred, was that Chinese people just love eating weird animals, and that's how we got COVID. That's the racist explanation that it came out of a lab accident and having to do with the Chinese government's cover-up is actually the less racist explanation by far, which is why this was such
people struggle with having just a conversation that involves people from other countries, and we just need to figure out how to better communicate with one another and just say this could be an isolated incident or this has to do with this without condemning the entire race of people or condemning the entire country. You know what I mean? Like everybody who is of Muslim faith now, we need to criticize because of this Boulder attack. That's what people are saying. And so people should, I think that conversation, not from you and I, but it easily goes that way, which is why the press was probably hesitant on saying,
but that's not racist
came from a Chinese lab. It's like, okay, let's just make sure we know.
Islam is a belief system, so you can object to the belief system just like you would object to a political ideology.
Right, but you're saying anyone who comes here with that belief system.
Origin. Yeah, well, I'm not saying that.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like people sometimes take one thought or one statement that comes especially from the president, like, oh, this was built in a Chinese lab, and then all of a sudden they just run with it. I know that's not the responsibility of the president to monitor, but as a leader, you just cognizant in the way that you put things so that the people who follow you blindly can then interpret
I think we
properly.
Can't possibly be skeptical enough of what goes on in Chinese labs. We should not be funding it. The COVID experience should just massively send up some red flag about U.S. taxpayer dollars being used for research in China, and this level of cooperation with a dangerous foreign adversary is really curious, and we are only beginning to get to the bottom of it.
I knew the story was going to give red flags for you. Yeah. Red flag everywhere.
I don't want to die of some fungus like The Last of Us. Zombie fungus taking over your brain. Did you see that show?
I hate it.
It wasn't my.
I understand
I'm
it, but I
over zombies by now, so it wasn't my favorite show. But it's okay. I haven't seen the second season yet. Next up, civil liberties advocates are concerned President Trump might be giving Palantir too much power. Stay tuned.